Welcome back to my channel. My name is Newton, and in today's video I'm going to walk you through how you can create this program with a sidebar and animated indicator that you can see here, and also this animation on the page. So in this app, when you click here, you can see the indicator moves down. When you click, it goes on. When you click up, it goes up. So that is what we are going to create in this video. If you've watched my previous videos, you know I really love animating containers. So inside of this application, you can see some animation going on, and this is not the default routing. I didn't use the default routing from Flet. And also you can see from this application, um, this one too, I have a whole lot of animations going on in there, and also a link to the source code for this and this one are in the description. You can just click on it after watching this video. You click on it and then you go there, you clone it, modify it to suit what you want to do. So that is it for this long introduction. Let's open our favorite code editors and we start coding. So we start by first importing our Flet module, create our main function, and also initiate our application. But I assume you have the basic knowledge of Flet and you can do this. But I'm not going to use the normal method by creating my function, and then I will create and then I will put my containers in there. I'm going to create a class and then I will initiate it. So now in here you see I have my class, that is my app class, and then it's inheriting from the user control. I have my Flet module imported, and this is my constructor function, which I have the page object in here. So inside here too, you can see I have this self.pg, that is the page object, and then I have this init helper function. I don't want to put all the variables in here, so I just created this function and then I put in a container and then set the expand to true with a blue background color, and that is all. I have my app here, and then the target is my main app. So let me go on and run this and let's see what we get. So to run, you can set the -r argument, and then this is going to run recursively, check whatever you do here and then update it in the UI. You can also set the -d this argument, so that whatever you add here later will also get updated in your directory, but I'm not going to do that in this video. So I'm going to go on and press enter, and let's see our app running. So you see I have my app running, and let me put it at this corner. So now that my app is running, let me bring this in here and then let's see what's going on. So in this application, you can see I have a row here, and then inside the row is where I have my sidebar and then my main screen. And inside the sidebar, you can see this right here, and this is a column. But what you see here, I have two columns. I have the first column and then the second column, which handles my side indicator that you can see. So to make things less complicated, let me break it down in the code so that you understand. So now I'm going to create my row widget, and then I will put in my sidebar container and then my main screen container. So now in here you see I have two containers, one for my sidebar and one for my main screen. I'm going to go on and add some colors so that you can see them in the UI. So now I have the expand set to true so that it will cover as much space that it will get. So let's save it and see what we have. So now you see I have my brown right here, my brown container, and then my green right here. And also you can see some space in the that is because this row widget has a spacing of I think the default is around 10 or so, I don't know. So I'm just going to go on and set the spacing to 0, and then now let's see. So now you see I have this right here, and then the space is gone, but this is too the width is too large and I need to decrease it. So to do that, once I need to bring some weight here, then I will not need the expand again. I'll just need to set the width to around 80 or 100. Let's see which one goes. Okay, so 80 is cool, and you can see now this is very nice. So this is my sidebar, this is my main screen. So now inside of this sidebar, you can see I have this one here and this one here, and this is a row, and inside the row is where I have these two columns. So I'm going to create a row and put in my two columns, and row, and then the controls will be my two columns. So these two columns, one is going to be this one and one is going to be this one. That is the indicator, and then these buttons. So now I'm going to go on and then put some widgets inside here, and then we see. But first, to do that, I'm going to go on and then put some containers in here first, and then we see what we are going to get. And then now let's see. So now you see I have this one, this container, that is the red container, and then this one here too as well, that is the orange container. And also here I need to set the spacing to 0 to remove this. Where is it? So now this is very cool, and this is exactly what we need. We need this and we need this. So now we need to set a width and height for our indicator. You can see this is very small, and this is I think 40 by 5 or so. So I'm going to go on and do that. So now instead of setting this to true, I'm just going to set the width to around 3, and then I will set the height to around I don't know, 40, and then let's see what we get. And you can see it right here. Let me remove the brown color, this brown color. Let me rather change it to white. And now you can see it right here. This is the indicator at the top here, but let's push it down a little bit. So I'll set some padding at the top. So now you see I have some space at the top here, and then I'm going to go on and remove the yellow the orange background as well. So now I'm left with the column here and then the column here, and then inside the right column is where my indicator is. So now this is expanding to get as much space that it will get. So now I need to set it to off, or just remove it, so that this will not be expanding, and then we have more space for the column at the left. So now you can see I have this line is a column for the indicator, so the whole of this will be an indicator line, and also the rest, that is from this point to this point, all will be for my sidebar or the side menu buttons. So now I can even add some color here, and then you see it. So you can see this is my side menu, and then I have the indicator here. So this white is for the indicator, and then this one is for the side menu or the sidebar buttons. So now inside of this column is where I have this. So inside of this column is for the indicator, which is this one, and then the next column is for these buttons. So I'm going to go on and add these buttons inside here, and that is for this column. So I'm going to remove this, and then instead I will use a row. So inside the row, that is, the row is going to be here, and then inside of the row I'm just going to put a container, and then inside the container I'm going to put icon in there. So now inside here I have a row, and then inside of the row I just have a container which contains an icon. And let me save it and see what we have. So now you see I have this nicely arranged here. So if I use a container instead of using a row here, this is going to create a problem. So let me show you how it would look. So now instead of the row, you see I only have this container, and let's see. And now you see where the container takes me to, and I don't need it like this. That is why I use the row. So now let's continue. We can continue by creating multiple buttons in here. So I'm going to select this and make a duplicate. If you don't know, if you are using the VS Code with default settings, you can press shift and hold, and then you hold alt and you use the arrow up to duplicate any line. So now I have another one there, and I'm just going to go on and change the icon. So now this, I have some space here which I need to clear off. So I'll just come here and then set the spacing to 0, and this is going to remove any space in here. So now what we are left to do is we need to set on click for these buttons here. So when you click on it, and then this will move this side. When you click back, it will move back to this side. So to do that, I'm going to go on and then create a function that is going to handle that for me. So at the top here, I'm going to create my function. Let me call it switch page, and then I'll pass in the self object. So now I have my my function here, the switch page function, which takes that is coming from the container. When you set an on click function, it passes this data to the function, and then you can use the data for further calculations or anything that you use it for. So inside of this function, we need to set, this is currently at a offset of 0 0. So what we are going to do is, whenever we click here, we are going to move it to a new offset. So to do that, we need to first get our indicator, and to get the indicator, let me come down here and cut this container, and then let's call it self.indicator. And then as we cut this, we need to create it, else it's going to give us an error. And this is the reason why I use class for this. This is more convenient. I can just call self.indicator, and then I'll do whatever I want to do. So now that I have this, I'm going to go inside my function, and then inside of this, first I need to set the offset. So now to move this here, we need to set the offset to a number. Now to set the offset to a number, first we need to have a number, and then we process it from there. But then first, let's set the offset for this indicator to 0 0. So I'll set the offset. So now I have the offset set at 0 0, and this is not going to create any changes in here. So now that we have the offset for this, let's go back to these containers, and then we add something to them. And then what we are going to add here is, we are going to set the data for each container. So this one, the data is going to be 0, and then I will explain why, and this is going to be 1. So now why this? This data is what we are going to use to manipulate our indicator here. So now let's set the onClick method for each container, and that will be very simple. Just need to set onClick. Now I have the onClick method set for both containers or my buttons here. So now you can see when I hover on it, you can see the mouse changes. So I'm going to go back inside here, and then whenever you click on it, instead of printing something, I just want to set a new offset for this. And then I'm going to go in the Y direction instead of going to the X direction. So now this is going to be the data that we pass. So if it is this, then it is going to be 1. If it is this, it is going to be 0. That is what we set here. So for the first container, I have it at 0, and then the second container, I have it at 1. So whenever I click on this, now it is going to set this one to 1, and when you move this 1, it will be somewhere here. When you set it to a number higher than 1, it is going to come around here, and that is going to spoil everything. So let's see, let's update it. Whenever you do something in here, we need to update it in the UI. So to do that, we just need to set the update method for our indicator. And then now with this is this should be working. So let's save it and see what we get. So now I have this one. By default it is here. When I click on this, it should move, and this is not moving. Okay, so let's check why it is not moving. Okay, so I don't see why it is not moving, but let's print something and let's see if our function is working. Okay, so the reason why it is not moving is because this is returning the container. So instead of doing e.data, we need to do e.control. That is the container that we are clicking on, and then we get the data from the container. So e.control will give us the container, which is this container or this container, the one that we'll click on, and then we get the data from the container. So let's save it and see if this is going to work or we are still going to get disappointed. So I'm going to click on this and let's see. And now you can see it has moved this from here to here. If I click here, you see it goes down. If I click, it goes like this, and then it goes on. So for now, this is not animating, but now that we have it like this, we are 90% closer. We can animate it. Very simple. We just need to come to our indicator, and then we set the animate offset argument. So now with this animation argument set, let's save it and see what we get. So now when I click here, you can see this goes very smooth, and you can change this to my favorite. That is for those of you who have been watching my previous videos, you know I love this animation. That is the bounce out. So it goes like this and it goes like this, and guys, this is very cool. I wanted to make this a complete video where I would put the animation, that this one that you see. I wanted to make everything in one video, but this is getting so long, and guys, it's late. So I'm going to split this video into two, and this is going to be the part one, and tomorrow I'm going to update this, and then I'll upload the part two. So that is it for this video, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and also like, comment down your thoughts on this video. If I went so slow or I went too fast, let me know, and I'll be there waiting for you. See you in the next one.